Bioshock is a weird game. Not to hate on anyone who likes the game, because I certainly really enjoy the game. It's just that when this came out around in the late 2000s, people thought this was the holy grail of first-person shooter games. I'm here to tell you that that's certainly not exactly the case. Today I'm going to be briefly touching over the story, spice over some gameplay, and overall explain some pros and cons that pretty much make up the whole game. So without further ado, sit back, relax, grab a drink of your choice, and let's get into this.
Story.
The story starts off with our main man, Jack Carver, as he gets a weird package from his parents. Tells him go to this very specific location in the middle of bonefuck nowhere. And then his plane crashes. That's it. That's the story. Sure, you get some bits and pieces that reveal somewhat of Jack's character, but other than that, there is almost no story to speak of. You eventually meet up with this guy Atlas in this underwater city known as Rapture, an underwater dystopia that I don't know how it could possibly exist in real life. There's a game theory video if you want to check it out, but I'm not going to go into the science here. And of course, you help the guy Atlas out, his family, to escape the city, and that's it. That's the story. I'm not joking, that's the freaking story.
Combat.
The combat in Bioshock is interesting, to say the least. There is mainly about 8 weapons in the game, and they are all very bland. Like, super bland. They are so bland, in fact, that if you grinded them up into a cream, it would come out vanilla. That's how terrible it is. Other than that, the combat of the game, you have these superpowers called plasmids. The plasmids create these interesting abilities for you to use in mid-combat, like fire, ice. You can even shoot bees out of your hand. Freaking bees. That's pretty crazy, I know. Other than that, the combat is pretty smooth. It's very bland overall. It's just quite terrible. But yeah, that's overall the general combat of the game. There's a couple of bosses in the game, but the only real boss is the boss at the end, which I won't spoil here. But the boss at the end has something to do with a betrayal. I think I might have said too much.
In conclusion.
Overall, I think the game is pretty good. Like I said in the beginning, people thought this game was the holy grail. I don't really see it. It's a horror shooter. It's a game with horror elements. Overall, some pros. The plasmid combat, pretty good. Weapons, pretty bad. Story, eh. So overall, I think that game is pretty good. I own the collection, so I own all 3 games. The second one's not as appreciated, but it's still good. It's still fun. That's why my final rating for this game is a solid 9 out of 10. See you next time, and remember, bros before hoes, and bros are bros for life.